start. Yeah, I go by Nick Rockstar Dev. I contribute on BTC-based server. I hope, yeah, few people here know what BTC-based server is, but if you don't, yeah, that's why we're having this talk. This is, yeah, our Slack, our Twitter. Feel free to join either, have fun together. And yeah, we'd love to have you on either of those channels. To kick off, I guess we can start with the history, like how the whole project started. And it's actually been a little bit over a year now. And I guess everybody here remembers August, last year. It was quite eventful with Segwit 2x and everything else. So during that time, Segwit was basically, BitPay was basically saying that they will transition all of their merchants on Segwit 2x. And yeah, when a company that just raised $40 million said that what you should do as a developer is basically tell them you'll make them obsolete, which is what Nicholas did, and he basically started coding this whole solution with the idea to be kind of like open source BitPay. I personally joined BitPay because me and Nicholas are both code project authors, and we were writing way more articles before we started doing this. So him and I exchanged emails, saw this as a nice opportunity, to do something together. So we joined up. And Nicholas is a guy who has quite a background. If there are any C# devs here, you probably know about NBitcoin, which is kind of port to Bitcoin Core only in C#. And yeah, Nicholas is well known and really influential in the community in that sense. He has quite a background. As for my background, yeah, this is basically growing up. I experienced hyperinflation at a really early age. So when that happens, you start questioning, money, like why does it have value, how the whole system works. And what really gets me is that this definitely is not, one-off situation. Like it just keeps happening. Like even today, we now have, hyperinflation in Venezuela, or when you had a decision in India to just, make current paper, current denominations, not valid anymore. Like you had this runs where people are just standing in front of exchange for hours or even days trying to exchange for, paper notes for new paper notes. And the whole idea of this project is to basically give individual power. Like if you need to become, in a sense, like payment processor, you should be able to do that. Especially today when, with Bitcoin and with all the infrastructure built around Bitcoin, we can provide this technology. Like if you look at BitPay, they pretty much have the whole solution, like even with fiat conversion, but the problem is that stack is not open source. So what we are doing here is basically open sourcing the whole stack and providing individuals with that power. If they want to be payment processor, they can be in like 5 minutes. And this is a brief overview of our architecture. At base of the whole solution is a full Bitcoin core node, or if other currencies are supported, like cryptocurrencies, then their nodes are also there. On top of the Bitcoin core node, we have MBX Explorer, which is a minimalistic UTXO tracker that helps us generate wallet addresses, track them, and so on and so forth. And finally, on top, we have BTC-based server itself, which saves some of its data to databases, standard databases. Like we mostly use Postgres, but you can use MySQL or even other databases, whatever entity framework support. This here is the list of the repositories where all the code is, plus this doc repositories where you will find documentation that Bitcoin Shirt is working on relentlessly. So, and yeah, if you want to add new cryptocurrency, you can look at NBX repository. Although I don't know, if this graph is for that. So I try to keep the whole intro brief, and I'll just basically here show how we do development. When we were creating this solution, we really wanted to make it as easy as possible, so that if new people want to join the project, they can pretty easily. So the whole stack of services that you need, like Bitcoin Core node, or if you're supporting Lightning, LND or C Lightning, Postgres, everything else. So this is how you can bring it up. We have like this dev environment, and it's defined in this file where you basically bring up everything that you need, and then when that's running, if you're following Satoshi's vision and developing on Windows, then you just need to start this whole thing, and there's that instance, and now it's standard, .NET Core development where everything is tied up with more breakpoints, they're hit, and basically if I'm to give quick overview of the whole solution, everything comes with controllers, and the entry point for those not experienced with .NET Core development is here, like in program where you set everything up. You're using startup class here in hosting where you define all the configuration and all the injection and other stuff in order to bring up BTC-based services. And from there, if you want to change anything in the code, you'll most likely just want to find the appropriate controller, find the method, and go from there. Like if you're going for login, you see up here it's account, controller, login, and you can quickly find that method here. It should be login. So this is like get, and if we refresh that will be here. Although, you won't always be able to deduce from the URL, but it should give you a good hint of which one you should target. So let me try to log in. Create an account. Server settings and that kind of stuff. For example, services is, say, server services. So it should be here, and then it's services method, and you can find your way from there. For those not following Satoshi's vision and sinning by developing on Linux, I wanted to just provide equivalent thing. You also need to set up the Docker Compose here, but once you do set it up, it's the same thing. You need to make sure you're in this BTC base server.tests folder, because that's where the Docker YML file is with all the definition of services. So it works exactly the same. You bring it up, and on Linux you have Visual Studio Code,
it's not going to be a cool demo, we'll figure it out.
From there, you just need to open the folder, find the folder with the solution. And once that loads up and you ensure that you have like that C# development plugin, from here it's also like, let's see if this is up. Yeah, so everything is up. So from here it's also like F5 to start debugging. And as you can see here, the terminal is bringing up the services and everything required for development. And once that's up, it will show you here in all the terminal. Yeah, listening. So it started listening. If you go, that address, the default port is for development is 14.142. From there, you will be able to, do standard development with debug and everything else. So, and the last thing that I wanted to show, like for people that want to bring up, Bitcoin Core or Lightning Network nodes pretty fast. This is what we have developed in collaboration with LunaNode. And if you know like any hosting provider that wants to offer a similar service, we are trying to decentralize this because for you guys here, like it's no problem. You can bring up this whole stack easily. But for average merchant that just wants to get their own payment processor instance up, something like this is what we developed to be way easier. With LunaNode, I have an account and I just enter API ID and key from that account, and it starts giving me options. If I have my own domain, I can redirect DNS to IP address, and then this setup will run with that domain name. If I don't have domain name and I just want to bring up instance, I use this option, so it will create URL for me or the domain, redirect DNS and everything else. So I go continue. Over here, we go with giving you ability to choose all the supported cryptocurrencies. You can do B2C, but you can do whatever you want. Shout out to Romano for Bitcoin. But this is an email address that you want to use with Let's Encrypt certificates. So let's say it's this one. Here you can set up if it's like mainnet, testnet, or regtest instance. You can choose a Lightning implementation. Like we support both LND and C Lightning, but because C Lightning doesn't have pruning right now, you just go with LND here. Select your plan, accelerate blockchain synchronization if you want, and then you just click launch.
It's 60 gigabyte volume. How are you running the whole chain?
So that's why I'm saying it's pruned. Yeah, and the thing is, we went with pruned node here by default because this is what merchants are using. So for them it's $8 a month. With pruned node. And if you want to change that, all the scripts that we are using for deployment are here. And when you're bringing up this Docker fragments, you have this safe storage. So you have small, extra small, extra small. And Nicholas has documented everything here as a Bitcoin shirt, where you can see how this whole setup actually works. And there should be how can I prune my node. So with all the options, what you have, safe storage, you need 100 gigabytes for BTC, safe storage S. But if you go below this, no Lightning for you. And I mean this whole launcher is now has set up this node. let's see if it's up and running. So it's still setting it up, but now that you have this node, for most developers, what probably will be interesting is that, like, this is the virtual machine, and you have passwords. So all you need to do is you can now, like, SSH into it, like BTC Pay 4863.com. And yeah, we basically are now SSH into this virtual machine, and let's see if it's managed to set up Docker still. No. So yeah, the whole that setup process takes about 5 minutes, but once it's up and running, you have the full node, you have like Lightning set up, everything up and working, which I think I can show when it gets up and running. And in the meantime, I just wanted to ask if there are any questions. Feel there.
I just want to say that I love what you guys are doing. It's awesome. Just a small question. Like you mentioned before that you came from a country there's hyperinflation.
Yeah.
What country is it?
Serbia, man. Oh, man. Like it's top 3 in the last 100 years. Yeah. Yeah, but we lost that place to Venezuela, unfortunately. And actually, like after the talk, whoever is interested in becoming a billionaire, I have some like $10 billion bills. Actually, it's with Nikola Tesla, so yeah, it's quite a good one. I forgot to bring it here.
Thank you.
No, thank you. Any more questions? Come on, guys, at least 2 more. We need to see that. Oh. So, it seems that the node is up and running. Yeah. So, yeah, that node is up and running. The first user that registers becomes admin. So, don't leave without registering. Somebody else will become admin of your yeah, so now if you go into server settings, you have like all the services set up. And for example, if you want to hit the REST API of your L&D, you can see URL, you can see macro you should use. So like if I hit up Postman, and the plan here is like this URL, like if we want to play with, how did somebody say it on Slack, subatomic swap, somebody was joking. Like, we plan to support like LPC and other this URL, and I just need macro. And this will be only set up if you have HTTPS. Yeah, we don't want you sending macaroons over HTTP. Maybe we should let people do that. And yeah, from there you can just keep those.
So, for me, like the killer app for BitPay was always that they held the price for 15 minutes. And that, as a merchant, it's really, really handy.
Yeah, it is. Actually, that's like the #1 question we always get when we are holding these stocks. If you look at the last one we did like 3 days ago, that was the first question asked. And we actually have a few tricks up our sleeve regarding that. And we hope when we roll that out, it will be like a final nail in the coffin. BitPay.
How will that work? It's like some sort of hedging mechanism?
Yeah. I mean, the whole point is that you are like sovereign of that good work. Like, so you as an individual if you have account on exchange, you should be able to like input that and basically hedge if you want to hedge. So, you know, you want to accept 50% crypto, 50% fiat. Like you just set that up in BTC-based server and it works. So that's the idea. But you basically get the whole tech stack of BitPay, only you can, if you don't like something, you change it. You don't want Postgres in the database, you just change that part. That's the idea.
Maybe it's too simple of a question, maybe it's obvious, but BitPay converted to fiat, then the deposit in merchant's account. Do you guys do that?
Yeah, not directly, but
But how do you do it in decentralized way? How do you do it without centralizing payment?
the point is like there are different models by which you can do that. For example, one of the guys in our Slack, I mean the Slack that I mentioned, you see they're trolling me because they're watching. Yeah. So, thanks, Jack. So, one of the guys in the Slack, he's actually wants to do this for merchants in Venezuela. For them, even $8 a month is a lot. So what he would provide, he would essentially be BitPay instance, where he is a
Fiat
custodian.
exchange. At some point, that's to be a fiat exchange.
Yeah, but if
Someone has to sell the fiat.
but if we have support in BTC-based server to automatically interact with exchanges,
So there could be an API in the exchange. Let's say Coinbase, if they had an API, they do the
They
same.
had it,
Like,
yeah.
they would exchange and put the money in the fiat in the exchange.
exactly, so, or other exchanges. And for some reason, like all the exchanges that are starting to talk with us, they're from Canada. Like, it's kind of interesting, like, yeah, Canadian exchanges, yeah, they love us. So there are exchanges that are actually even willing to provide like XPub derivation for their users. So if you have account on their exchange, they'll give you XPub, and you can enter that XPub into BTC-based servers. So they will directly receive, payment on the invoice. But also that model has some problems. The thing is, we want to provide different models, and I'm telling you, like with something like BitPay, if you take BTC-based server, bring up instance, and host merchants.
Then I can do that.
Exactly. And you take profit the way BitPay takes it. But
But I would hedge it for a account and then have to make one.
yeah, exactly. But anybody here would be free to do exactly the same thing you are doing. With BitPay, merchants didn't have a choice. They were like, you guys are switching to Sector 2X. You're like, no, you're switching. Oh man, it's funny, but people were selling like Sector 2X futures, man. So yeah, that's